Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about one of the original derp masters in World of Tanks Blitz, the T49. Now, this vehicle can either be great or terrible. It has really good games where the gun decides to hit its shots, and then you'll have a game where you're about 20 feet from somebody, and the shell dunks right into the ground. And the reason for that being is because this carries a .453 dispersion gun, which is quite terrible. In fact, I think this is like the second or third worst dispersion in the game. So that's not great. As well, its damage per minute of 2062, while it's not bad, you have to pen your shots. And with the terrible heat pen of 167, I think it is, yeah, again, this gun, while it's very fun, has a lot of disadvantages. What I actually tell a lot of people, if they want to grind the line more quickly, you might as well just play the 90mm because you'll honestly probably do better. However, we are not here for the 90mm. We are no peasants. We shall run the T49 with the 152 because I wanted to make a video not only talking about how much fun this tank is, but as well how to play it if you do struggle. Because this is a very tricky tank to know how to play. It requires a lot of foresight on what you're going to do, because obviously if you make the wrong move, you can really pay dearly for it. While your tank deals a lot of damage, it also has very little hit points. So that means vehicles like the ISU or the Chimera on the enemy team, they can pretty quickly change your happiness to a frown as long as they manage to connect a shot. Now, the T49 is actually very quick. Even though it doesn't have the best power-to-weight ratio and best terrain resistances, it does have an amazing top speed of 72 kilometers per hour, or something very close to that. So it's very easily able to get some high top speeds out here, but at the same time, it's really not the best on the power-to-weight ratio. It's kind of like an RE251 where it takes a little bit of time to accelerate. Now, we do have that IS-2 spotted, and just basing off of where he'd push, we're going to look right down this alleyway, and hopefully he's going to try and cross, but you never know. Let's just keep on waiting. Now, most of our team is sitting in the base capture. In fact, you can see almost all of them right there. Let's aim in an HE, and oh, baby, that's what I'm talking about. That is what the T49 is king at doing. We literally just brought what was almost a full health RU down to nothing, and that's what the KV2 can do. Or not the KV2, the T49 can do. It can literally ruin your game in an instant with one standard shot. Now, we've got the IS-2 over here, and there you go, another shot going in. That's 2 shots, 1,200 damage dealt. And we're just going to see if we can keep on racking up that damage. And that was actually a massive low roll as well from that shot. Now, we do know the Nameless is over here. And as well, we got the Chimera. Now, the Chimera can be a very, very deadly tank because of the very troll armor it does carry. But let's aim it on his turret. There you go. Nice tap for 600. It's a weird shot there. I didn't actually think he'd let me get that off. But you know what? We did, and I can't complain. So we're doing pretty dang strong as it is already this battle. Let's see. We've got the Nameless over here. Finish you off. Goodbye, buddy. We're doing pretty well. I did not expect this game to go this well, but that's just what the 49 does sometimes. It's got really stupid capabilities to do very well. That is just what happens when you give a really, really big alpha. Oh, ho, 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 ho. But I did get HE there. You can see that. The IS-2 Berlin was actually smart enough, even though he's camping at the back of the map, to shoot an HE, which actually surprises the heck out of me, but that's not going to stop me. Oh, I guess it's not going to stop that SU-152 either. Now, there are still some tanks left on the enemy team that I actually don't know where they are. A good example of this would be the ISU. But I'm going to see if we can get a shell into the RU, and yeet! Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So we've cleared a whole plethora of tanks on the enemy team. We're sitting at 3,221 damage. And honestly, there's no sign of slowing down anytime soon. Now, oh boy, that's not good, but you know what? Since the ISU, I was going to say since the ISU fired, I'm going to get a final shell into him, but for the first game, that was not bad at all. You can see where this tank does very well. Now, we did get lucky on 1 or 2 of those shots. The one on the Chimera, normally that Chimera would have looked at me, and I would have had no chance to pen him. And as well for the IS-2 Berlin, we fired one at the side of his tank, not really fully aimed in. Normally, you can expect those shots just to go, yoop, and miss completely, because that's what the 49 does. So, yeah. I know sometimes when I record videos, I'll, say something and then I'll change my mind, 10 seconds later just because I'm not paying attention to what I said. This tank, it probably won't happen just because it's really not something that you can change your mind on dispersion. It's a really bad gun on accuracy. Now, there is a couple advantages of having huge alpha with a light tank chassis. Armor is obviously not one of them, but one of the big advantages is, first of all, being able to change positions very quickly. But the second thing is, while you may not have a lot of penetration, you are able to use your fantastic camouflage and outspot heavy tanks, and then use that mobility to get to the side of them and get shots in. The issue is, of course, tank destroyers and most vehicles that carry high alpha are at least decently accurate. Again, this tank just doesn't really have much accuracy. Like, the T92E1 is actually quite accurate for what it is. This tank just takes that out of the ballpark, so we're going to see what we can do. Come on, speed! Now, the first bit of advice I'd give you for a T49 is don't do any stupid rushes. Now, we got the C50 over here, and wow, I'm very surprised he actually had the gun depression hit me, but don't push on tanks you know you can't shoot in the 49. If you see, like, a Foch or any vehicles that you know you physically cannot penetrate with this vehicle, and then you decide to poke them, then that's obviously your fault in the first place for trying to poke them. Now, we got the E50 off to the side here. Let's aim in a heat shell. Oh, wow, I did not know that I couldn't pen that, but because of that, I just lost about 400 health, and we've lost 600 in total. This E50 is really just trying to shoot me, isn't he? Wow, good job, E50. You really, you showed him his boss. That's the skill. A lot of people literally YOLO rush this tank just to try and shoot it. I'm going to aim it on this Foch here. Come on. Turn your tank to the side. Whoever is pushing me is an absolute... Oh my god, stop pushing me! Why is it so hard? Alright, we're just going to aim in an HE on his side. And fire! Oh, baby! That's what I'm talking about. That's a 903 roll. And again, one shot from this tank pretty much ruined that guy's day. That's it. He's dead. Now, that was, to be fair, pretty much his fault for driving there, but... still, the abilities of this tank to practically one-shot certain vehicles in its equal tier is pretty dang ridiculous. Now, you got to be careful, of course, because I don't know where the waffle's positioned. And, oh boy, that's a T49 right there. And what? Alright, somebody let me know in the comments where that shot went. I would love to know, personally, because I actually don't know where that went. What the absolute heck, Wargaming. Alright, well, I don't know what to say. I actually don't know what to say about that shot. That just completely disappeared from where I... What? Alright, let's reposition. Obviously, I don't want to poke a spot that I can possibly die from very quickly. We know that the Type 61's on top of the hill over here, and oh my god, that Type 61 just got absolutely slapped. So with that, we're going to aim in right on this guy's cupola, maybe. Oh, come on. Fire! Ah, ha, 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 ha. Imagine if that had hit. Just imagine. Gotta wait another 10 seconds now to reload. WZ-120 is being quite aggressive, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try the shot again. Oh, never mind. He's dead. Okay. Well, that's a shame for you, buddy. Alright, so one good shot from me, and we should be sitting at a pretty decent amount of damage. I just need one good shot, though. That's the issue. And a good shot from this vehicle can be trickier than expected. So let's see. We've got the Waffle right off to the side over here. Let's aim in an HE, and there you go. Waffle no longer existo. Pretty good shot, not too bad. We're just sitting at about 2,000 damage now, and we just reload once again. And that's really all you do in this tank to do well. It's just one old slap, and you're sitting quite high and mighty on the damage. So let's aim in on the Pantera. There you go. Nice shot on his lower plate for 700. Like, you can see where this tank is. It's just so fun. And it is tricky to do well in certain scenarios, but at the same time, it's not that hard to do well in this tank. And if you do it correctly, you're really not going to struggle all that much. So, oh, too bad we couldn't get that last shell out into the enemy 49. But that is the T49. Not the most accurate, not the best tank, but if you know how to play it correctly, you can do extremely well. And these two games are a perfect example of that. 2,800 damage there, and the game before that, 3,200. So, what would I suggest to do in this tank? Well, as you saw these battles, when I saw there was a very poor situation I was in, where like those two waffles were looking down the alleyway, obviously I'm not going to poke that. So if you're in a scenario like that, make sure that you can reposition. Make sure you're undetected, get a nice booty shot into the tanks, and then run away. You'll notice that E50, I could pen him on the side, but frontally, nowhere. And that's where the 49 sucks, is the penetration is truly awful. It's heat, it's 167, but because it's heat, it has no shell normalization. So a vehicle, let's say like the AMX 1390, while its pen isn't great with its calibrated shell sling at about 178, because it's got AP, that's more about 200 millimeters of effective pen, where this vehicle, it's just flat 160. So yeah, its pen sucks, its accuracy sucks, its aiming time sucks, everything on the vehicle sucks apart from the alpha and the mobility, but you'll want to use those to the best, so make sure you do. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, but other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.